What's up, fellas? Officer Fuzznut here, back again this week, bringing you a Sticky Bomb Guy video. Last week I put out this cool little highlight showing off what I could do. If you haven't checked it out, check it out now. It'll show off kind of how this build works. But anyways, I got a lot of requests, so here it is, Sticky Bomb video. For this video, I'm going to break it into 3 parts. Feel free to skip ahead, I'll try to leave annotations. I've got part 1, gear and stat setup. Part 2, skills and talents, and part 3, tactics. I'm going to try to keep this video short, but we'll see how that goes. I've never really done too many tutorials, so I might get a little sidetracked. Anyways, here's part 1, gear and stat setup. So there's a lot of different ways how you can set up your armor and stats. It'll mostly come down to what kind of armor you just have. It's really hard to find specific armor. You just gotta hope you get lucky, so it's more about working with what you have. Right now, this is my favorite setup right now. I got 3 tacticians, a reckless chest piece, savage gloves, and just this holster. Arguably, I could replace the gloves and the holster with 2 sentry, and I'll get more DPS out of it. My primary DPS right now is 116. It goes up to like 120 something if I inflate my accuracy, but that's kind of cheating. I would say the best would be 2 sentry, 3 tacticians, 1 reckless chest piece. Because if you didn't know, reckless is bugged out right now, so instead of 10% more incoming damage, it actually prevents 10% more damage. Pretty much 10% more armor, which is just fucking insane. It's crazy. Sentry's gonna be nerfed. Yeah, it's gonna be nerfed when 1.2 comes out, but 2 sentry won't, only the 4 piece. So I might do a mix of either 2 sentries and like 3 tacticians when that comes out, or I might switch to 3 striker and 3 tacticians. The reason I like 3 tacticians is because if we look here, the 3rd set bonus gives you 20% skill haste, which is insane. If you didn't know, that's applied after the cap, so the cap's at 20 now, it'll apply after, and my cooldown's about 15 seconds on each. I guess we can test it out right now. Look, I'll put a countdown. Real riveting stuff, look at it go. Halfway now, what's it at? It might be closer to 16, who knows? I haven't timed it exactly. Or have I don't remember. And it's done. Okay, there you go. So that's what the cooldown's at with the 20%. Actually, I've got 28 because my holster. The reason why I'm keeping these gloves and holster is because I just haven't been able to find a good holster that gives armor and health and yeah, armor, pretty much armor and stamina and electronics. For this build, I'm just forsaking firearms. I'll get into that a little later, but some other viable armor builds, 4 sentry, 2 tactician is great. It'll split up your DPS a little more between your guns. It'll raise your DPS a lot with your guns, just from getting those 3 headshots. And you sacrifice, though, the 10% resist from Reckless, and also the 20% cooldown, which I think is just too fun. I love launching sticky bombs left and right every 10-15 seconds. It's just craziness, so this is what I got so far, but 4 sentry, 2 tacticians, also very viable. As far as stats go, right now, I'm just forsaking firearms and going for as much survivability. So what I do is I go to max out my electronics to get max damage on my proxy bomb. Then after I get max damage on that, I pretty much put all of it into stamina and armor so I can get the most survivability. And it's only at 70k. If you look at my gear score, it's not even 200 yet. I refuse to play the challenging mode incursions, so I'm suffering a little bit, but having fun with it for the most part. So this is what I got, 70k stamina, and where's my armor at? Survivability 64.5, so it's not maxed up yet, but pretty much maxed out. Then, as you can see, the damage resilience from the Reckless, 10%. So survivability is pretty good. If you get marked by a sentry, you're still pretty boned. You'll die pretty fast if you stay still for like even 1 second. So sentry's getting nerfed. If you didn't know, to work with only semi-autos, I can't wait. That'll be fun. As far as stats go, I was talking about how I forsake firearms. If you want to be more mixed, you can put some in firearms, then switch to the BFB, because the BFB's damage will max quicker, but the problem is its cooldown is still going to stay pretty damn high. So if you want a more mixed thing, this is very viable. You just have to wait like 30 seconds in between in between all your sticky bombs, which ain't bad. The other thing you can do is if you rock a Caduceus, you put 1886 into your firearm so you can get cool-headed and just have your cooldowns on pretty quickly. The problem with this is I think it's a trap. You just, for PvP at least, I love it for PvE, you just sacrifice so much health or skill power or whatever you're sacrificing to get up to that. And I don't think it's worth it for PvP. You turn into this glassy kind of guy. But it is fun, I will say. If you are mixing between PvE and PvP, that's a good middle ground, and it can be fun as hell. Alright, moving on to skills and talents. As you can see, I am a big advocate for proximity fuse on your sticky bombs. Reason being, you get a much larger explosion radius, 6.25 it starts with, versus 4.5, that's like a 40% increase, and explosion radius is important because that basically means you have a bigger kill zone compared to BFB. Also, another perk that I like, it's got a much quicker cooldown. As you can see, it's maxed out damage in this one because I have a ton of plus sticky bomb damage mods on my armor and stuff. This one, its cooldown is still not capped yet. I don't know what exactly it takes, probably around 50k just to get the cooldown all the way, and in my opinion it's just so fun when you can launch them constantly. So I run with proximity bomb all the time. And my second ability, skill, whatever, I run first aid with overdose. That overshield's really important, and the reason I prefer first aid over things like support station is you can use it on the move, and it gives you instant overshield pretty much. If you watch my previous videos, you know a lot of my tactics involve running from position to position, trying to find a better location to set up at. So first aid, even if you're not running proximity bomb, I still think it's a must for like pretty much all builds, but that is debatable. I know this one gives whatever cooldown faster, but I think the survivability from first aid is just much more worth it. As far as talents go, right now I'm rocking triage, critical save, combat medic, and chain reaction. In my opinion, all four of these are a must for this build. The reason I run triage even when I'm playing solo is that it triggers from medkits, and I think if you're running combat medic it'll trigger it twice, so you'll get a 30% cooldown on medkits. With these three in general, just one medkit gives you 80% of your life back. It gives you, if you use it at low health, it gives you 40% damage resistance, which is just amazing. And it also gives you a 30% cooldown on your whatever current abilities are on cooldown, which is just insane. This will help you, it'll help you go back and forth between your medkits and your self-heals. You can just keep chaining those back and forth while also throwing out sticky bombs quicker. It's just really useful. And of course, chain reaction is a must because you want to be able to get those one-shot on guys that are clumped up. If you didn't know, chain reaction, if you're in the blast, it'll also trigger it off. So sometimes what I like to do, I guess we'll go into the tactics section now. Alright, moving on to tactics. The way that the gameplay that I've found is best with sticky bomb is you get in there with a sneaky first attack, then you either try to finish them off with your gun. If they go down, pop your super or your ult, then melee them, run out of there, find a better position. And what you're basically trying to do is you're trying to balance between when you attack and when your cooldowns are active, which means you're going to be running around a lot, looking at cover, running back, retreating, going zigzags. That's the main thing. You want your cooldowns to be up when you're attacking, and when they're not up, you want to be using medkits to help them get up, and you want to be retreating to good positions. Usually, you've seen it a couple times, I'll run around things. That's a really good thing if you're one-on-one, you just run around a car and they can't get to you while your cooldown's going off. Or if it's off, I'll even bait them by hiding behind something and they'll try to run close to me, and that'll give you an easy chance to get a shot off by their feet. Then usually that'll be an instant kill, if not finish them off with your gun. Another sneaky thing is when they're doing that, when they're running up to you and say you're behind cover and you're going to hit them, if they get close enough, aim it so that you are at the edge of your proximity bomb, So that way, it's not going to kill you, but it'll trigger chain reaction on them because it'll count yourself as one person in the blast, and them as the second. So it'll do a lot more damage to them. That's pretty much an instant kill if you can get them with that. Another thing is, when you're running away, just keep in mind that you got your medkits. Don't be afraid to use them. Same thing for your ammos, but instead of ammos, I've been liking sodas, popping sodas. I'll do it every once in a while. It gives you 30% extra cooldown. Pop a soda and your abilities will just, mixing that with your triage and heals and medkits, your cooldowns will pop up every like 5 to 10 seconds. It can be ridiculous. Besides that, that's pretty much it, yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I tried to cover most of the things that I was being asked in my videos. But feel free to ask. I'll answer anything in the questions or in the comments that I can. And thanks for tuning in all the way. One last thing, I've been pumping out like 10-minute highlight videos. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. I've been trying to do once a week or once every couple weeks. It's been like, but ideally I want to do once a week. If you guys don't mind shorter videos, if you like 5-minute videos, I can probably pump out a couple of those a week instead. And also I'm thinking about doing just fun, challenging mode missions with like silly builds with all explosions and stuff like that. Maybe some silly incursions on hard mode. I really don't like incursions though, but let me know what you guys like in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Officer Fuzznut, signing out.